Terry Ryken Realtor at Sotheby's proudly presents Ken Boxer Live.
Hello, I'm Tab Hunter, and you are watching Ken Boxer Live on TVSB with Tai Babilonia.
All right.
From the American Riviera in Santa Barbara, California, it's Ken Boxer Live with your host, Ken Boxer, and co-host, two-time Olympian Tai Babilonia. Please welcome Ken and Tai.
Another sellout.
Well, it's because of our guest. Welcome, everybody. I'm Ken Boxer, and let me introduce you to my very talented, very lovely, very talented, very extremely talented.
Thank you.
Well, I got to tell people, as they already know, the two-time Olympian, five-time national champion, as well as a world figure skating champion, Tai Babilonia.
Thank you. Love that.
Well, Tai, we talked about this on the last show.
Yes.
You have your coloring book.
Tai skating coloring book. Isn't it beautiful?
I think so.
Yes, and it's been out about a month, and it's selling really well. It's, the response has been amazing. You can get it on my website, taibabilonia.com. It's autographed. The characters are lovely. Jacqueline Myers-Cho created these characters, and it's a great holiday gift for skaters and non-skaters.
And for my
for Miss Dagny.
That's right.
Yes.
She's going to get one after the show.
Yeah.
Promise. Tell people who we have on the show. It's quite
I'm oh my gosh, I had another hot flash. Anyway, he was one of the hottest teen idols of the 1950s. He's an author, he's an actor, he's a former figure skater, he's a singer. Wow. What doesn't he do? Oh my gosh, we have Hollywood legend Tab Hunter in the house tonight. Oh yeah. So excited. And November 19th.
Yes, Thursday, November 19th at the Granada Theater.
Right, a screening of his film Tab Hunter Confidential. So
we're going to be
go
talking
out and see
about
it. Are you
that.
going?
Oh, absolutely. I won't miss it.
I can't wait to see it. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
With Tab Hunter.
Hey!
Ken Boxer Live, brought to you in part by Palazzo Restaurant, where people don't leave hungry or thirsty. Harborview Inn. Welcome to Santa Barbara's premier 4-diamond luxury boutique oceanfront hotel. The Eagle Inn, a family-owned hotel near the beach in Santa Barbara. Now back to Ken Boxer Live.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Wow, that's great. And we are back. Our guest tonight is a true Hollywood acting and singing legend who has worked with all the true giants in the industry. He's a best-selling author, and now he's just recently released a documentary entitled Tab Hunter Confidential that's really already receiving rave reviews. So let's now welcome really a true movie star, Tab Hunter. Give it up, everybody. So good to have you here.
Thank you.
Oh,
I was so excited when you asked me to join you because I'm such a fan of yours.
Well, it's mutual.
I used to skate pairs.
I know that, and singles. And you're a champion, local California champion.
Yeah.
No, I saw the footage, Tab. You were rocking on the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Now, before the show, though, she gave you an invitation to ice skate.
Well, he
with
said
her.
yes. We're
She
going.
doesn't do
We've
that
got to
very
try this
often.
new rink here up in
Goleta.
Goleta.
Absolutely. And
Let's
we'll
do it.
videotape it.
All right.
For your next documentary.
Oh, God.
How do you two,
One's enough.
How do you two know each other? You've met before.
We
yeah?
haven't really met before.
We did at a competition, and I think it was just a local competition in Burbank, and you were there watching. I was watching.
Really?
Frank Carroll was there, and it was just a really quick hello.
Well,
but
Frank is a great pro. You know
yes,
that.
yes, and we have so many mutual friends.
my
I mean,
gosh.
the skating world is so tiny. So it's so great to see you.
Well, thank you. It's a
Tab.
pleasure to be here. I was so excited. You have no idea when I heard that.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are 84 years old?
84 years old.
So handsome.
It's a state of mind. Come on. How many young people do you know are old? How many old people do you know who are young? I just think it's, you are what you think.
Absolutely.
So we better
I
have
agree.
positive thinking. There's too much negativity out there. Be positive.
And the ice preserved you.
Well, I haven't been on the ice. The ice in my
No,
drink.
but it,
The ice in my drink might preserve me.
right. No, you look great. You look great.
Thank you. Actually, I still have my horses, though. That's what I really love. You know, I have a mare just right here in Montecito, and then I have her baby. I became a father in April.
Recently?
Oh, yeah, last
Wow.
April. Thank you very much. I should have passed out cigars.
That's
But
great.
the baby's
Congratulations.
gorgeous. Yeah.
Well, how long
Wonderful.
have you been in Santa Barbara? Because it's now home.
Well, I first came up here in the 50s to show horses before they built Earl Warren, when we used to be right on the beach, you know, or near the beach in Pershing Park.
Okay.
And then I come up here all the time. At Earl Warren, I showed at the first horse show there, and I was on the board of directors there for a while. And I've just been coming here for years, and I finally moved here in the 70s, and I had a robbery, so I moved away. But then Alan, my partner Alan, called me when I was living in New Mexico, and he said, would you come back to LA? I need you to get some projects done. And I said, not LA. He said, how do you feel about Santa Barbara? I said, in a heartbeat.
I understand. It's lovely.
We're just, what, a couple feet from Tab? Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is one of the most handsome men that I've ever met.
He's blushing.
You're just saying.
Not only handsome, but a true legend, true star.
Well, I always consider that my past life. You know, I was very fortunate in the movie business. I was really lucky. I was under contract to Warner Brothers for a few years. Then I had some really bad times, and I became one of the pioneers of dinner theater. And it was John Waters that sort of revitalized my career.
Right.
He called me up and asked me if I'd want to do a film with Divine. And I thought, what have I got to lose?
Why not?
You know?
What year was that?
In your book that you mentioned, Divine.
Yeah.
and this is, let me show people this book that came out about 10 years ago, and it's great reviews.
Well, that's what we based the documentary on.
And which we'll talk about in just a moment. But you actually, there's a line in the book that says that one of your highlights of your professional careers was to work with Divine and John Waters.
Well, I loved it because I was as popular as yesterday's chopped liver. I couldn't get arrested. And all of a sudden, John Waters called me up and he said, my name is John Waters. I don't know if you know me. I said, know you? I'm a big fan of yours. I love Pink Flamingos and Mundo Trasho.
Right. Right.
And he said, I've got a script I'd like to talk to you about. How would you feel about doing a film with Divine? So I said, not bad. He said, but wait, before we go any further, how would you feel about kissing a 350-pound transvestite?
And
I said, I'm sure I've kissed a hell of a lot worse.
oh my God. That's
So
great.
anyway.
So that got you back out into
So
public eye.
John hired me. I did Polyester, and little did I realize it became a cult film. I mean, they were showing it when we were in New York just a few weeks ago.
That's great.
Couldn't believe it.
So how did you get into acting in the beginning, the very beginning?
I was a stable boy, about 13, 14 years old, shoveling the real stuff.
In Los Angeles.
As opposed to the Hollywood stuff.
Right, right.
And Dick Clayton later became my agent, but he was an actor.
Okay.
And he was out there with Ann Blythe doing a photo layout for a movie magazine. And he used to come out and ride all the time, and I was fascinated. And he started talking to me about the movie business, and he later became my agent. But he was agent for Jimmy Dean, Jane Fonda, Burt Reynolds. I mean, really top people, and he was just such a decent human being.
So you had never acted before? Have you done any?
One time in junior high school in The Wedding Shoes. I did a little play there and was so bad.
Right.
Really bad.
I wish we had video of that.
What,
I
yeah.
You're lucky there was no video at that time.
Well, there probably was. Someone with a home boom camera or something. You know?
But did you have acting lessons?
When I first started out, I was a product of, I have to tell you a funny story. Julia Child, when she was alive, God bless her, we were at the market one Saturday morning, and she said, Tab, come here. I said, good morning, Julia. She said, how's the book coming along? And I said, all right. How's yours? She said, forget my book. What's yours? What are you going to call it? And I thought, well, I'm a product of Hollywood. I thought I might call it Product of Hollywood.
Okay.
And she said, that's not very sexy. So I thought, we better change the title on that right away.
Right, right. So with the book coming out, I on YouTube, I saw an interview where someone was coming out with a book and you wanted to beat that person to the punch. So you came out with.
Well, I
with this
didn't
one.
want some schmuck that never knew me writing about me.
Right.
You know,
I
people
get
love
that.
to put a spin on your life and never knew you.
course.
So I thought, get it from the horse's mouth,
Right.
not from some horse's ass after I'm dead and gone.
Right. No, I get that. I get that. And did you enjoy the process of writing it and going back and having to
It was a little difficult.
remember? Yeah.
But I did enjoy it. I really
Right.
did. I had Eddie Muller, who's done some wonderful writing. He's a really terrific man and a
Yeah.
wonderful writer. And so we worked well together. But it was
Right.
Alan's fault why I did the book.
It's a-
And then I thought, well,
Alan.
thank God, let sleeping dogs lie.
Right.
And then he said, but I want to do a documentary. And I thought, oh,
Well, what did you learn most about yourself when you had to reveal most about yourself?
that it's difficult. It's very difficult because I'm not comfortable. It's not my comfort zone. I really feel closest, to God when I'm out with my animals.
You love your animals.
I love being out with my horses.
Or when you were skating.
I did enjoy skating, but you know
Right.
why I gave it up? Because it
Why?
was only my own accomplishment. And when I'm with my horses, I'm working with an animal that has a life of its own. And in skating, it can be, it can be very heartbreaking, as you know. You
Right.
train all year for that one moment, but it's the same in competition with a horse. But you've got that support of the animal there
Right,
too.
right, I get
well, in
that.
pair skating, I guess you got the same thing.
It's similar.
Not that I'm calling Randy an animal.
Right, right. Oh, he can be an animal. But no, I understand. I understand.
We have a clip. We have a clip of your work singing your #1 song that way back you said on the Perry Como show.
This was the first time I ever sang professionally in front of an audience. I had just cut a record called Young Love, which became the #1 song in the nation and knocked Elvis off the chart.
Amazing.
So Como called me up, and Perry Como was just the coolest person that God ever created. And he said, come back and sing it. I thought, oh gosh. So I sang it, and this is the clip from that show.
And we also followed in the same video clip we're going to see was one of my favorite movies of all time, Damn Yankees.
Oh, I love doing that. That was a whole
a
New
great
York
scene.
cast. They were wonderful.
Yeah, and you were the only one that wasn't from the New York cast.
Yeah, I was the outsider.
And we'll talk about that. Let's have everyone watch these clips and enjoy. Let's watch Tab
Yeah.
Hunter.
Boy and girl, there's just one love in this whole world, and I know I found mine. The heavenly touch of your embrace tells me no one can take your place ever in my heart. Young love, first love, filled with true devotion. Young love, our love, we share with deep emotion.
We have to keep training and strict rules and all that.
You can tell me all the rules.
You're making things very complicated.
Then be good boy
I'm trying to.
and do like Lola tells you to do. I always get what I aim for, and your heart and soul is what I came for. Lola once.
If you're just joining us, we have legendary actor Tab Hunter with us. Tai,
First of all, what was it like working with Bob Fosse and Gwen Verdon?
Well, Gwen, I loved. It was a whole New York cast. And Bobby,
Right.
I said, Bobby, I don't dance. I don't know. He said, you're going to be fine. I said, but I've got 2 left feet. He said, don't worry about it. No, he was wonderful.
Oh my God, legendary.
He was wonderful. And then
Yes.
he later went on to become one of Hollywood's finest directors.
That's right, wonderful director. So with your documentary, I know you come out with how you had to stay in the closet for so many years.
I have to tell you a funny story about that, though.
Oh yeah.
We were in New York recently, and one of the people in the press asked Alan, they said, how did you get Tab to do the documentary? And Alan said, well, Tab opened the door to the closet, walked out, did the documentary, turned around, walked back in and closed the door.
I love it. I love it. Perfect. Great. That's
So
great.
I think that sums it up.
That does. But you know, in our world or my world, you know, the skating world, my partner included, Randy just recently came out, but we all knew, you know, I knew when I was 8 years old that something was different. I didn't know what being gay was, but it's so much more accepted now.
But people never talked about those things.
Right.
You know, nowadays
Yeah.
so much seems to be blah, 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 right in your face.
Right.
And that's kind of like new chalk on a blackboard to me. I get a little
Yeah.
startled by that.
Yeah,
You know?
but with the studio system, was it difficult, and did they tell you? No.
Not Warner Brothers never discussed a word with me when I was there.
But do you think they knew?
They might have. I don't have no idea. You know, people love to, you know, assumption is the mother of all big-time mistakes. I'm putting it nicely.
That's great. That's great.
Which was more difficult to be associated as being a gay man, or during the 50s there was also you were blacklisted if you were a communist. So which would be worse for your career, being labeled a communist or being labeled gay back then?
Well, labeling is one thing. Back then, I don't know. Both were pretty bad back then, you know.
Or would you be blacklisted if you came out as a gay man? Would your career have been over?
Oh, I'm sure it would have. And it's the same today. It's not changed at all. You see no gay leading male or female in the business. Not one doing a movie as a movie star.
That's true. That's true.
I can't think of one.
Right.
I mean, you can see characters and comedians and so forth, but you can't see. But that's not important. That's a label. Oh,
Right.
she's like this. Oh, he's like that. But it's not labels that I'm concerned about. We all label people when we shouldn't.
Right.
We should be
I
concerned
agree.
about what kind of a human being we are.
Absolutely.
That is
I agree.
And Tab, I don't want to interrupt, but we have another clip, and it's so important because it's regarding the documentary, Tab Hunter Confidential.
Oh,
we
show
have the
it.
trailer.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to show it right now so people can see. And this coming November 19th, Thursday,
At the
you'll
Granada.
be at the Granada Theater with this documentary.
Well,
You'll
Alan
be-
spent 7 years putting this together, and I'm very proud of him.
I can't wait to see it.
He's done a wonderful
Will
job.
there be a
Yes.
question and answer at the...
I don't know. I have no idea. I just go back.
But you're going to be there. All right, let's watch this trailer.
Okay.
Okay, let's watch.
When I count 3, will all of the ladies in the audience please go,
Tab, when I was young, he just was amazing looking. Beautiful California surfer that every single girl or boy would want to make out with.
Mr. Tab Hunter.
He was the embodiment of youthful American masculinity.
He was as big as they could come.
Are you Tab Hunter?
Yeah.
I think I've died and gone to heaven.
Kids and the fans just gravitated to him.
He was the all-American boy, and nobody sold that image better.
How do you shave, Tab? With a Gillette Super Speed, of course. What do you like about Tab Hunter?
Well, it's quite a few things.
Don't you ever think about marrying?
All the time, Ernie. That's what keeps me single. Hello, I'm Tab Hunter, and I've got a secret.
I would go out occasionally to a cocktail party. Parties like this were illegal. And then next thing I know, the cops came in. I had no idea it was going to jump up and be thrown out at me years later. I was offered a 7-year contract with Warner Brothers. Whoa!
He was everywhere.
Tony and I met at the pool at the Chateau Marmont. We just kind of hit it off. And I went up to his room with him.
And he wasn't after me, so he wasn't on the make. And women like that.
John Waters called me up on the telephone and said, "How would you feel about kissing a 300-pound transvestite?" I'm sure I've kissed a hell of a lot worse.
Every actor who has a secret like being gay, there's a part of us that are afraid to be who we are.
Well, I would never have talked about my personal life in the 1950s. I think you have to be true to yourself. I've never been as open as I am with you.
Tab Hunter.
I can't wait.
Okay.
So Tab, what the process of doing this documentary, was it hard sometimes, or was it an easy going back and looking at the footage and getting the interviews and hearing?
All that was done, taken care of by Alan.
Right.
He's such a good producer.
Yes.
I don't like to revisit a lot of that stuff, but when I do, we had 7 years putting this together, so he would occasionally repeat the question over a 7-year period until they got me to open up a little bit.
Right.
I just never talk about the business that
Right, you're
much.
very private.
But
Well, I
Tab,
am, and I consider my past life.
But what would you like your audience to know when they walk out of that theater about you that they might otherwise not know? What experience do you want them to get?
I'd like them to understand that we're all on a journey, that the journey is very important, and that the 3 important things in our life are growth, mentally, physically, and number 1, spiritually.
Right on.
And I think if they can come out with that, and I think it taps on all of that,
Right.
and I think that's important.
I love that.
The journey that we're on.
Yes, the path.
That we're all on.
Absolutely.
What's being focused on in the documentary, particularly? Is there one area? Maybe we should ask Alan.
Well, no, I'm glad you asked that question, because our director, who was very good, wanted to just do the Hollywood aspect of it. Well, that's pretty boring. I mean, it's, to a lot of people, it may sound interesting, but I thought the whole journey was interesting. So I brought in, or they brought in, the young years, the Hollywood years.
Your skating years.
A touch, and the golden years.
Right.
But yeah, I do one spin, and I didn't fall.
With Tony Randall, that special.
No, it is actually, this is another one. Just one day, Alan happened to find some footage of me doing a spin.
I
so
love
he put it in the thing.
Didn't Geraldine Page give you some great advice?
Yes, she did.
Could you share it with us?
I would love to. Geraldine Page, for those of you who never knew, was a brilliant, brilliant actress. And I did a live television show with her on Playhouse 90. And those were the days of live TV, which were great. And I said, Jerry, you're so lucky. The press and people, they just love you. And the press used to hate me, and they were despicable. And she grabbed hold of my arm and said, remember this, Tab. If people don't like you, that's their bad taste. I thought, whoa, that's powerful.
That is powerful.
I say now to everyone I meet, if people don't like you, that is their problem, not yours.
Yes.
So just go down the road, and that's their problem.
You're right. You're right. So what has the response been from the documentary? Amazing, I'm sure.
It's been overwhelming.
I can't wait to see it.
We showed it at the Academy last night.
And
I'm very excited about that. That was really terrific.
That's big time.
And we opened at the New Art Theater 3 days ago. And
so you've been on the road. You've been touring with this.
Is it easy for you to get through it? As you're the principal in this video. Is it hard for you to watch, or is it easy?
Well, I don't watch it all the time. No, I've seen it a few times, but that's it. But no, it's hard to do the promotion for it. But I learned being under contract. You do the job the studio asks you to do, and if you don't, then you're out and someone else is in there doing your job.
Right, you're committed.
And part of your job, committed is a great word.
Yes.
And our job is to follow it through.
Right.
And that means until it's out there and people can see it and make their own judgments.
Right.
And
well,
I was also told...
I love that word, commitment.
I love commit, yeah.
We need commitment. That's what's great about skating. Skaters had to commit.
Well, you can't, there's no middle.
No,
Either you go for it or skate on a Saturday.
You can't land a double axel that you've just been thrown into without a commitment.
You got to commit.
Well, Warner, I'm going to skip around, but Warner Brothers actually committed to you with the start of a recording studio, correct? Didn't Warner Brothers Records actually have its beginning?
Well, here's what happened. Natalie Wood and I were on tour in Chicago for a movie that we had done. The best thing in the movie was my horse. And so we were out there, and this gentleman said to me, he heard me sing, and he said, "Did you ever think of recording?" I said, "No, but I'd love to." He said, "Well, I want to put you in touch with Randy Wood of Dot Records." Dot was a big recording company.
Oh, yeah.
So Randy Wood met me, heard me sing, and gave me Young Love to Do. Bingo became the #1 song in the nation, knocked Elvis off the charts, and I was there for 6.5 weeks. About 6-7 weeks. And then Jack Warner called me in his office and said, "We own you for everything." And I said, "Well, you don't have a recording company." He said, "Well, we do now." And they started Warner Brothers Records.
That's amazing.
Great story.
That's a great story.
No, we only have about 30 seconds left, if you can believe it. Let's talk about Granada Theater. November 19th, 7 o'clock is your documentary.
Tab Hunter Confidential.
And you're going to be there. So everybody, that's the hottest ticket that night. Okay?
I am excited about it.
That's exciting. You're home.
November 19th.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm so glad you came.
Thank you
You're
so
one of
much,
my idols.
Ken. But when are we going to skate together? Now, we're
Okay,
going to need a
You
lot of
tell
help.
me. You're the one on the road.
I'm the old man. I need the railing.
I'll hold you up.
Well, I'll hold on to you instead of the railing, okay?
All right, you're on, Tab.
All right,
Thank you
great.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Kat. Stay right here. Stay right here. Well, that's our show for tonight. So for our guest, Tab Hunter, and for Tai Babilonia, and my director, Nick Ferretti, and the entire KBL crew, I'm Ken Boxer. Good night, everybody, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Ken Boxer Live is brought to you by the following sponsors. Terry Ryken Realtor at Sotheby's, your broker with a personal touch. Palazzo Restaurant, where people don't leave hungry or thirsty. Harbor View Inn. Welcome to Santa Barbara's premier 4-diamond luxury boutique oceanfront hotel. Wendy Foster, Santa Barbara and Montecito's premier clothing store. The Eagle Inn, a family-owned hotel near the beach in Santa Barbara. Via Rosa Inn, let us pamper you in international style. La Quinta Inn and Suites, conveniently located in downtown Santa Barbara. And by Taffy's Pizza, delivery, pickup, or dine in. Woody's Bodacious Barbecue, voted best barbecue in Santa Barbara for over 30 years. Santa Barbara Chicken Ranch, authentic Mexican style, mesquite barbecue. Santa Barbara Bar, finally, nutritious, tastes great. Country Catering, Meat Market, and Deli. Their food not only fills your plate, it nourishes the soul. Jack's Bagels and Bistro, serving the very best food in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. Quality food and genuine drinks. Jill's Place, where the locals go to eat. Lito's Takeout, serving the best Mexican food for over 30 years. Sammy's Camera, new location at 530 State Street. Perfect Computers since 1990. Ice and Paradise, fun for the entire family. The Santa Barbara Access Card. The Ken Boxer Live musical theme by Mr. Michael J. Leslie. From all of us at Ken Boxer Live, I'm Baron Ron Heron. Good night, everyone.